Welcome to Wisdom for Living broadcast with Feyi Adesanya, a program designed to equip you with insights for quality living from the scriptures. Sit back and relax as Pastor Feyi shares a timely message with you today.
Thank you for tuning again to your darling program, Wisdom for Living. I remain your host, Feyi Adesanya. For some time now, we've been looking at doing a lot with a little. How we can, with little resources, achieve great things. And we have been taking the cue from the miracle of Jesus, wherein he used 5 loaves and 2 fishes to feed 5,000 people. At another time where he used 7 loaves and a few fishes to feed 4,000 people. We have been looking at it in the light of not just a miracle, but the underlying principles therein that we can also apply to our lives to achieve the same things too, to use little to do much. Today I'll continue along that line, and then what I want to say today is this, that we should appreciate what we have. Appreciate what you have. Faced with a Goliath, the temptation will always be there to despise David. You collect that story where young, small David had to fight Goliath. That is a case of having to do much with little resources. So you will be faced with that temptation to despise David. So you can't blame Andrew for remarking about the 5 loaves and 2 fishes when he said in John 6 verse 9, he said, "But what are these among so many? We have 5,000 people to feed, and what we have on ground is just 5 loaves and 2 fishes. It's natural, just as Andrew has pointed out, to say, what is this among so many? We have a bill of 5 million naira, and we scratched everywhere. All we can get is 5,000 naira. You are right to think that, what is this among so many? But what we must not do is this: we must not fall for that temptation to despise what we have. You can't afford to despise your solution in its seed form. Otherwise, you'll be stranded. You see, solutions don't often come like harvest. They come like a seed. And so they look very small. And there's always that chance or temptation that you look at what can actually save you and say, this is too small. It cannot do anything. Then you abandon it to pursue solution elsewhere. And the truth is that you will never find. The solutions to every problem may not at the first look like the solution, but if you have the eyes of the Spirit, you will be able to look at it in a seed form and say, this is my solution. That's why Jesus was able to pick that. Well, this may look little to you, but this is the solution to the problem. It may look little, but with this little, we are going to be able to do much. So Jesus took those loaves, and in verse 11 of that John chapter 6, we are told he gave thanks and then began to distribute it. That's the key I want to pass across to us today. Appreciate what you have. He gave thanks. He gave thanks over that little substance. It didn't seem much. It didn't look a reasonable solution to the problem. But Jesus took it, lifted it up to the Father, and said, thank you, Lord, for this. And that's what you should do too. That little salary you are earning, compared to the responsibilities before you, it looks very little. But I tell you, and I've done this myself severally. I remember some time ago, I used to earn very little. So little that what I earned was could barely last a few days in the month. But every time I took it, it was always in an envelope, so small an amount. I lifted it up to God and said, Father, I thank you that you even provided this. And guess what? One way or the other, it was almost always enough. I did great things with that little. In fact, in retrospect, I wonder how I was able to do that. But the secret is this: just give thanks like Jesus did. Thanksgiving has multiplier effect. Appreciation makes things appreciate. Let me say that again. Thanksgiving has multiplier effects. What you give thanks over will definitely multiply. Appreciation makes things to appreciate. So instead of murmuring and complaining over the seeming little thing you have to handle with that big task, if you are grateful and appreciate it one way or the other, you will find that that little thing can actually do much. Learn to give thanks. That was how Jesus did that miracle. He just gave thanks. You will begin to get great ideas and innovations that will help your David kill its Goliath with just a sling. Who would have believed that little David would have killed Goliath, and to make matters worse, with just a stone and a sling? Who would have believed that? But that's the power of gratitude and learning to appreciate what you have as against despising it. If you take that little substance, that little resource, that little thing you have, and you concentrate on it and say, Father, I thank you that I have little. And you don't say, well, what is this among so much? What is this? You are talking about a woman here, for instance, in 2 Kings chapter 4, who the creditors were coming to take her children, and the prophet asked her, what do you have in your house? She said, I have nothing. But then she went on to say, but a little jar of oil. That little jar of oil was the miracle seed. All she needed to do was say, I have, at least you have something. And in the mercies of God, He will never leave us so stranded that we don't have something with which He can use to kickstart us or to help us. There will always be something. So look into your life. Look in and around you. You'll find that there's something that you can still use, that God can still use to meet that need or to solve that problem that you have. All you need to do is take that thing up and give thanks for it. As long as you keep focusing on the things you don't have, which you think you need, you will find it hard to be grateful for what you have. But if you abide by the philosophy that what I have now is all I need now, you will be appreciative of what you have, and consequently what you have will appreciate to meet up with the demand. Here's the philosophy to live by. What you have now is all you need now. If that's all you have now, that should be enough for you. Give thanks to God for that, and what God multiply it, what God expand it, what God use it to meet that big thing that you have to use it to solve. I'm sure what I've shared today, if you practice it, you will come back with a testimony. I'll continue from here next episode as we continue our discourse on doing a lot with a little. Bye for now.
Thank you for your listening attention. Tune in again, same time, same station, for another episode of Wisdom for Living. You can connect with Pastor Feyi on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as Feyi Adesanya, and on YouTube at The Teacher Ministries. For partnership details and other inquiries, send an email to theteacherministries@gmail.com, theteacherministries@gmail.com, or call 070-555-20824. 070-555-20824. God bless you.